Hi everybody, these are the general directions for this week's assignment. As you can see, we have Homeschool Week 10 and we begin on Tuesday, the 26th. Today we are going to start our Mesoamerica research project. This is going to involve you choosing the civilization that you're going to study and how you want to do your project. It says, please closely follow the directions on the attached document to do this. So when you go into the first document, it is going to look like this. Mesoamerica Research Project. It's going to have some directions on it, and it's going to have a link that you're going to need to go to. The first thing says, for your final unit of the year, you will be conducting research on ancient civilization that existed in Mesoamerica or South America. You will be also conducting research on a modern country that exists in the same region today. So not only are you going to be researching an ancient civilization, but another country that exists today where the ancient civilization used to exist. It says, for the next part, before you begin the project, you have some choices you need to make. Follow the link below to the document you will use to do this, then come back and read the rest of this document. So we're going to click on this, and it's going to take us to this document right here. First part says, first, you need to pick a civilization which you would like to research. To do this, please watch both of the YouTube videos below. We have two YouTube videos here. One's on the Maya, one's on the Inca. This is just so you can decide which civilization you're more interested in and want to research. You can also go to other sources to do some research to begin, so you can choose, but this is the minimum that you need to do. And it says, second, you need to pick the way in which you will create your project. There are going to be two options for this. It says to view the details for each option, watch the instruction video attached to each one. Essentially, the two options are, the first one is using Google My Maps. That involves no drawing. Essentially, all you're going to do is on a map of the world, you're going to put a marker on some famous sites from your civilization and from your modern country, and put in a description on it there. Your second option would be to do something a little more creative, where you would have a blank map of the country that you chose, and then you are going to put in some drawings that represent the different sites that you're doing research on. You would still have to do the writing piece, but that would be something that's a little separate. And then once you have picked both of those, so you've picked which civilization you're going to do, and you've picked the option that you're going to use to do the project, you're going to go to this form here down at the bottom, and you're going to put in that information so that I know what you've decided to do. One thing that I want to make clear is that this has absolutely nothing to do with your World's Fair country. So you are not doing research on ancient civilizations related to your World's Fair country. Nothing to do with your World's Fair country at all. So this is what you're doing on Tuesday. On Wednesday, you're going to start doing your actual research. To do that, you're going to, on this, in Google Classroom, if you go to Wednesday and Thursday, it says, today you will begin your research on the civilization and modern country that you picked yesterday. You will do this by starting the attached graphic organizer. Please closely read the directions on the graphic organizer and watch the attached instructional video. That's going to be very important. On the assignment, there's an instructional video on how to fill out the graphic organizer and the graphic organizer itself. If we look at it and we look at the directions, we see it says, first, using your research guide, find and list the names of the ancient and modern sites you want to get information on and their locations in the left column. So this research guide that we have here was made by Miss Maroney Wagner. She did an awesome job. We have some research prompts on here. We have our learning targets, and then we have some databases and different websites to go to. My recommendation for this first part, where all you're doing is you're finding the names of the ancient sites and the modern sites, is just Google ancient sites of the ancient Mayans or the Incas, depending on which ones you chose. You can use a list that comes up there on Google. You could go to Wikipedia and find that. Just for the initial part of it in the beginning with the names, that's all you really need to do. The research guide is going to be more useful when you're figuring out the answers to these questions here. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to find your 6 locations first, just Googling, and then you're going to fill out the rest of the questions, and then you're going to write a paragraph using the answers to those questions. There's a more detailed description of that in the instructional video for this assignment, so definitely watch that as well. There's also an optional challenge here, so there's a link that will take you to another document that has some challenge questions that you can do that kind of talk more about the ancient civilizations overall and not more specifically about the site. So if you're someone who has generally done challenge activities in class before, particularly with your CER, this is something that you might want to do. Overall, the most important thing that you can do for this assignment is 1, read all of the directions on each document very carefully and watch all and any instructional videos that are on any of the documents. We're not actually going to get into doing the project part until next week. For the beginning of this week and the end of this week and the beginning of next week, we're really just going to be doing research. My expectation for Wednesday and Thursday is that you do 2 of your sites, and that's it. The other 4 we're going to do next week. So again, read those directions. Email me if you have any questions after you've read all the directions and watched all the videos, and do your best work. See you in class this week.